All right, our final field of cars to qualify. Then we'll be back into elimination. Round number 2 of Super Gas. Need you to the lanes, please. Round number 2. Super Gas needs you to the lanes. That means stockers, get them ready. '41. Jerry Albert's hot rod. Jerry showed up overnight. We have 3 sessions of qualifying scheduled, 1 on Friday, 2 on Saturday. Jerry's like, hey, if I get there Friday night, I can make my 2 hits on Saturday, 1 in the left lane, 1 in the right lane. Get a feel for the racetrack, get her dialed in. Run her out of Avon. Wheeling the late model, 97 Camaro-bodied machine there on the left-hand side. Kenny Snops. Lost Creek, West Virginia, the Pontiac up on the right. Kenny not in the show. You want to play on Sunday here in Top Sportsman? You got to go 7:07.6 or better just to get in. Kenny's gone 7:42. Grand Am needs to pick the pace up considerably. Can he go 7:06? 7:40. Nope. 185 miles an hour. 688.5 by Jerry Albert. All right, he went 688.2 right lane. 688.5 in the left lane. I think Jerry just might be ready to play. So Albert is in. Snop's not going to make the show. Bob Wright, Jeff Melnick come up next. Melnick, the runner, out of Hubbard. .540 cubic inch combination in that Dodge Avenger body machine. Melnick was here yesterday. He went 855 to open things up. Stepped it up to a 697. He knows he's in the show. At least for right now, he's number 27. Bob Wright is in. Knows that he'll play tomorrow. The only question is, from what position is he going to start? 671 and a 669 on his pair of laps down the racetrack. Right now, sitting number 11. Bob Wright hustling on through, 672. So a 669, a 671, and a 672. Melnick goes through 698. Stays consistent with his 697 qualifying effort. Neither one of them are going to shuffle the field around any at this point in time. Now, here comes the car that is probably going to shake up the field in this session more than anybody else. Bill Yates, runner out of North Carolina. Bill and Angie, for years campaigning in these Super Gas and Super Comp battles. And former U.S. Nationals champ in the Super Comp world. Bill Yates on the right side. One run earlier today. Went 799. You look on the scoreboards down there, and you see that 707, and you know, oops, 799 is not in the show. Angie leans in on the right-hand side. Says, this is it, hon. Go get him. Tony Fagnelli up on the left-hand side, the Pennsylvania-based Pontiac. He's in the show, number 8, 675 and a 668. His shots down the racetrack. Bill Yates down to 1 shot at qualifying to get in. Hopefully whatever it was in the opening round that bugged him has been eradicated. Angie flips on the computer. Steps back. That ain't going to get it done. Wow. Bill Yates not going to be in the show. 669, 201 miles an hour. And Yates, 14-second lap, 73 miles an hour. And whatever it is, the bug is still there. Maybe we need to call Jeremy Duncan, Mr. Pest Control. I'm just saying. That was a free plug for Jeremy, by the way. Yeah, okay. Michael Donato rolling in now. The Don Ness chassis machine for the runner out of Illinois. Michael, excuse me. Another one of those cars that rolled in overnight. Trying to make the show on not 3, but 2 qualifying laps. Kind of like Bill Yates just did, went 14 seconds on his opening run. He looks down at the scoreboard at the other end, sees that 707 and goes, I got to do that? The answer is yes, you do. The electrician out of Illinois. One shot to get into the show. Whoop. And Michael Donato out of the groove over next to the right-hand wall. Comes back and goes across the center stripe. He took out the 1,000-foot cone down there, so we'll be on hold for a moment while we go out and replace our timing cone, part of the timing system. Got a little reflector on it. It helps the CompuLink timing system record the incremental times of the cars as they go down the racetrack. And Michael will not be a player on Sunday. Neither will Bill Yates, and I got to tell you, interesting to see some of the cars not qualified here this weekend. So a little cleanup down track before we get ready to continue on with Andy Horn and Tyler Levon and the rest of our top sportsman field trying to shuffle their way in and around and over, under, and through. Super Gas, round number 2. You should be in the lanes by now. Super Gas, round number 2. Need you to the lanes, please. And those styrofoam blocks down there, when they get hit, sometimes tend to leave a little bit of shredded foam on the racing surface. It takes just a moment or two to get them cleaned up down there. Get the timing cone reset. Make sure the reflectors are in the right spot so the timing system functions properly. So they got the cone out, and they got the tube of silicone out. Now they just need to stick into the caulking gun and go. Put a little silicone down on the bottom of the block to stick it back down to the racing surface. Finish the cleanup down there, and we'll be ready to continue on. Super Gas, round number 2. Need you to the lanes, please. Super Gas, round number 2. Don't forget the Hot Rod Grill's open. Hot food, cold drinks. And event souvenir T-shirts available at the souvenir trailer right behind the Hot Rod Grill. Be sure and stop by, take a look-see. Pick up your event souvenir T-shirt for the Buckeye Fuel Wars here this weekend at the new and improved and continuing to be improved National Trail Raceway. Yeah, looks like the cone's reset. The vacuum truck's working off that end. The fire and safety rig working off that end. The quad runner and the sweeper headed back to this end. And that kind of tells me that I think we're about ready to go again. Yeah, that's what it tells me. So we continue on, final qualifying. The top Sportsman machines. Tyler Levon sitting number 3. 6:45 earlier today. Andy Horn's 6:69. Sits Andy right now in the number 10 spot. It'll be Mustangs a pair headed down the racetrack. Delaware, Ohio, be up alongside West Liberty here in the Buckeye State. All right, looks like Joe's clear. The top end's clear. This end's clear. When it's clear, 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 we're ready to go, go, go. Andy, Tyler, getting ready to continue on. Super Gas round number 2. You should be in the lanes if you're not there yet. This is your final invitation. All righty, back into our top Sportsman final qualifying session. Andy Horn out of Delaware. Short toe for the Mustang bodied machine there on the left-hand side. Tyler Levon out of West Liberty. And Levon's Body Shop. Brad Anderson combination. Underneath the hood of the 70 bodied Mustang over here on the right-hand side. Got some of that neon red orange paint on it. It definitely stands out. If you're going to sit there and tell me that you can't see that car, I'm going to suggest a new optometrist. Because if your vision is that bad, scares me. Tyler, number 3. Donnie, Andy Horn on the left-hand side. Number 10. Cars, top half field runners. Tyler, 651, 217, no help on that run. 667. Andy Horn picks up a couple of hundredths of a second. Moves from number 10 to number 7 after that lap. So nice cleanup down at the other end of the racetrack. It didn't bother Tyler and Andy Horn's machine, both of them tracking right on through. Ronnie Biondo and Greg Burba. Burba got bumped out in that last session. 771, his best run. Burba right now needing to pick up a bunch. Wants to get into the show. He's got to go quicker than Dave Paone. 707. See, 71 minus 7. That's a bunch. Ron Biondo's in, the Lumina up on the left-hand side. 94 Lumina bodied machine. Used to be a very popular body style with the advent of the Pontiac GXPs and GTOs. Becoming a little bit sleeker, a little bit more aerodynamic. Greg Burba. You can see the car once again hop and skip and jump off the line. 7076. 200 miles an hour in Burba's machine. Gurgled a little bit down at the other end of the racetrack. Big cloud of smoke down there, so we'll hold on for a moment or two while we check out that end. 682 by Biondo. For Greg Burba, the good news is you're in the show. The bad news is you're number 32, and the more bad news is there's a whole lot of smoke coming out of the back of the car just then. And Burba's machine may be in need of a little mechanical assistance to get ready for Sunday eliminations, provided he stays in the show. If he's got her blowed up, got some hurt parts, can't make the bell for round number 1 tomorrow, it would open up his spot to a alternate. We're down at the other end of the racetrack so far. Things are clean. Looks like we're good. Had her smoke, if nothing else, out of Burba's car. So we'll let Greg figure out what he needs to do. See if he stays in the show, because Randy Promoza getting ready to roll in next. The youngster at 78 out of Willoughby Hills. Getting ready to take the Par race engines. Chevy Cavalier machine down the racetrack here on the right-hand side. And Jimmy Fallon, bookstore owner out of Trenton, Ohio. 63 Corvette there on the left-hand side. So Promozic, who is not in the show with 1 10-second lap earlier today. Jimmy Fallon, who is in the show, albeit clinging on by his fingernails. 7:06, he's in the number 31 spot on our qualifying sheet. All right, let's see what Jimmy Fallon's Corvette, if it'll come to life over there on the left-hand side. It gurgled once, gurgled twice. Jimmy. Little squirt of the bottle into the injector hat. And she steps back. Jimmy's car won't light. Something obviously askew. Whoa, there we go. All righty. Short burnout. Jimmy Fallon rolls in. Randy on the right-hand side looking to get in. Knows he needs to go quicker in a 7:07.6 over here on the Sunoco Fuels lane. Fallon is in, knows that if he doesn't improve, and Promozic does, his 7:06 could easily become the new bump. With the number of cars here this weekend, riding the bump spot. Not necessarily healthy for one's well-being. All right, let's go. About Promozic, 6:56, 209 miles an hour. Goes from nowhere to number 5 on the qualifying sheet. Jimmy Fallon says, I don't want to be on that bump spot. He steps up to a 6:90 at a $1.97 for speed, moves himself up 4 spots on the qualifying sheet, and the bump now becomes Don Sadoff, 7:04. Hey, you know what? We're only 2 cars away from an all 6-second door car field. Wow. We got some cars coming up that could do that too. Not to mention, Don Sadoff and Tim Irwin might be able to step up as well. So Gary Winowski Sr. now up on the left-hand side in his Oldsmobile. He's in the 6-second zone. Bad Eye Breiniger, Ohio-based runner, and the Mustang over here on the right-hand side. Breiniger number 25, Gary number 18, both of them on the bottom half of the field. You want to be on the top half of the field, 675.8 or better to get into the quick 16. .681 at 204 miles an hour by Gary, no improvement. .689 by Bad Eye. He doesn't improve. He ran .688 earlier, so he's staying consistent, if nothing else. Breiniger, number 25. Winowski, number 18. And the next pair, this will be Gary Jr. And the aforementioned Don Sadoff. Don's riding that bump spot now. I'm looking down there on the Coughlin brothers and the Sunoco scoreboards. It's 7:04.7. That you see is the bump. Don says, oh, that's my number. See if we can fire up this 87 Corvette and get him down the racetrack a little bit quicker. Get him off that bump. Get him into that 6-second zone as well. Sadoff out of Connorsville. This Corvette over on the right-hand side. Love to get off that bump. Gary'd love to get up to the top half of the field. Just needs about a 10th to do it. Well, that's not going to do it for Don. Gary goes 686, no improvement there. Sadoff's Corvette, 744. He'll stay on the bump for now. 7:04.7. Scotty Wasco, Wayne Gallagher, way up on the right. Ain't another one of our 63 Corvette bodied machines. Runner out at Cedarville. Scotty Wasco out of Columbia Station. I'm telling you, we have enough top Sportsman cars here in the state of Ohio alone to make a 32-car show. Gassers, door cars, always been a stalwart here in the Ohio Valley. Hasn't changed much over the years. Scotty Wasco, 664 out of his Lumina. Like we were saying a little bit earlier, Lumina used to be a very popular body. Still several of them in competition. Wasco's coming up, Tim Irwin's coming up. Seems like the more rounded and more aerodynamic body styles certainly have taken over the category. Of course, 63 Corvettes have always been aerodynamic. .679. Dwayne picks up his step a little bit from a 694. He moves up to the number 19 spot. How about Scotty Wasco, 664? at 207 miles an hour. Scotty now sits number 6. Stock eliminator round number 2. Need you to the lanes now, please.
Attention in the pits. Attention in the pits, please.
Stock eliminator round number 2. Time for you boys and girls to return to the staging lanes. Round number 2. Getting ready to rock and roll down the racetrack. John Hochstetler. Niles Michigan-based machine. Mopar powered Dodge Stratus bodied entry. Up on the left-hand side, and Alex Bozak, another Mopar power plant and another Mopar body. Oh, and here comes Lester. Hang on to your shorts, boys and girls. Bozak's in, number 15. Hochstetler's in the show, number 23. Still 2 cars away from that 6-second field. Don's made his run. Not going to improve on his 7:04. Tim Irwin getting ready to come up, see what he can do. Bozak, Hochstetler, both in the 6-second zone. Alex takes the dumpling through, 679 at 205 for the Chicago runner. No help there. Hochstetler is 686 at 200. He'd already been 685 at 200. Doug, I think you and I can dial that car in for eliminations tomorrow. Put a 685 on the window and send it. Tim Irwin rolling in now. The Mosier Engineering Chevy Lumina. We're talking about the Lumina bodies, and here's Tim. 7:014. Tim could dump down into the 60s. Cool air. The sun's behind the clouds. The track tightening up a little bit. This could be the time and the place to do it. Jeff Sexton up on the left-hand side, the runner out of Fairborn. Chevy Cavalier bodied machine. Sexton 688, best run so far. Whoop, Tim Irwin's not going to improve. That car did a little do-si-do coming off the starting line. 689 by Sexton. He's gone 688, 689, and a low 690 lap now. Tim clicks off a 1030 in the Mosier Engineering Chevrolet. Car came off the starting line and did a little left-right shuffle. Tim did exactly what he needed to do, and that was get out of the throttle. Just kind of cruise on down the racetrack. Here is your number 1 qualifier. Not only in the top Sportsman ranks, but also top dragster. Lester Johnson's Kentucky-based, pro-charged, Hemi-fied, 55 Bel Air that he calls Excalibur. That is one bad top Sportsman machine. Perennial number 1 qualifier. Had it well into the 5-second zone down in Gainesville this year. Impressed a whole lot of people down there at the Gator Nationals. Kyle Camp alongside of him, 23 years young, wheeling a 92 Trans Am. See, when I was 23, I was wheeling a 327 4-speed Chevy 2. Not quite the same. Your ride, Doug, was a little bit more indestructible than mine. Yeah, you could probably get that tank to hook up just about anywhere. Kyle Camp, the Trans Am, number 11, 668. Lester Johnson's been 604 and 6 flat. 5.999. 5.99.9 and a 6.001. That is 2 laps back to back within 0.02 of a second at over 233 miles an hour. Boy, Lester just makes it look easy, doesn't he? Kyle Camp goes 6.76 that time. No improvement for the 23-year-old in the Trans Am. Roger Wellman and Dave Goins. Here's a pair that aren't, that would like to be. Wellman on the left side, the probe-bodied machine. One shot earlier today, went 727. Goins Mustang over on the right-hand side, 828 cubic inches of Ford coming down from Plymouth, Michigan. Goins needs to find 0.2 of a second. Roger Wellman needs to find 0.2 of a second. It's better out there. It's a little bit cooler. Track's a little bit tighter. Unless you were holding a couple of tenths spare change in your pocket a little bit earlier. Finding them in this session might be just a little bit difficult. But stranger things have happened. So we'll see what they got. Probe's a pair, or excuse me, Ford's a pair. One of them with a Ford power plant, one of them with a Chevrolet. Whoop, Dave Goins ain't gonna find it. Probe's not gonna find it. Roger Wellman goes 735. Dave Goins' Mustang comes off the line, heads towards the center stripe like a giant magnet was sucking it in. So Wellman and Goins will be on the DNQ side of the sheet. Chris Osborne, your defending champ in the top sportsman ranks, alongside Stephen Breiniger. Stephen, a bricklayer by profession. His Ford-bodied machine for the Ford family. Stephen backing up. Saw Bad Eye a little bit earlier. Head down the racetrack. Bad Eye Breiniger, number 26. Stephen, number 17. So they're both down in the bottom half of the field. Stephen would like to pick the pace up a little bit. So Osborne right side, your number 16 qualifier, your defending champ. It's a pretty good place to start from if he can stay there for tomorrow's elimination. That means he'd take on the number 32 qualifier, 675.3. Picks up 0.006 of a second. He'll move into the number 15 spot by 1/1000. He picks up 1 spot on the qualifying sheet. 7:59 for Stephen. That time, no improvement for the Ford. He'll stay number 17. That number 17 spot, let's see, that puts you on a date tomorrow with, the number 1 qualifier, Lester Johnson, the 55 Chevrolet. Mark Malquit out of Strasburg, 68 Camaro. Over on the right-hand side, and Don O'Neill. Sure, I'm glad to see Don in competition today. Don went on a wild ride yesterday. Parachute getting caught underneath the wheelie bar, lifting the back end of the car straight up. Spinning the car around, putting a couple of bald spots on the front tires. But able to get it fired back up and drive it off the top end. Don sitting in the number 21 spot, the dragstersforsale.com team car. Mark Malquit, number 2. 41. See if he can step his game up a little bit here. Get a little bit closer to that Lester Johnson. 55 Chevrolet. Malquit 645, no improvement. Don O'Neill goes 691 at 191 miles an hour. And again, the parachute and fully deployed down there on the top end. By now, Don's got a pretty good handle on that Monte Carlo. Cruising to the top end rather quickly. So Mark will stay 2. Don stays number 21. Billy Riddle rolls up now. The Corrigan Race Fuels Chevrolet Camaro. He needs to find 0.2 of a second. Sadoff sitting there on the bump spot, going, Is he going to stay in, or is he not? Bob Mandel's 57 Chevrolet. You want to talk about a sweetheart of a race car, the chassis builder out of Tennessee. Gorgeous 57 Chevrolet, and I do mean gorgeous. Inside out, upside down, top to bottom, front to rear. Just a very nicely appointed Top Sportsman machine. If you want to go to Top Sportsman Racing, go talk to Robert. Take a big pile of cash with you. Might use a wheelbarrow to get it there. You can own this 57 Chevrolet. Mandel blasts through 685 at 200 miles an hour, and Robert picks up 0.02 of a second. Riddle's weekend is done. He will not be a part of the show. He'll stay number 37 on the sheet. Mandel 685, picking up just a couple hundredths of a second. Dave Paone and Glenn Butcher. Paone, number 34, not in the show, but his 707. A whole lot closer to Don's 704 than anybody else that we've seen so far. So Dave Paone right now in the Monte Carlo there on the left-hand side. Going to be looking to see if he can get in. 598 cubic inches underneath the hood. Glenn Butcher, the demolition contractor over here on the right-hand side out of Doylestown. Glenn rolled in through a 647 down coming off the trailer. Says, okay, I'm here to play. Number 4 qualifier. Looks like everything checking out on the top end of the racetrack. So checking the top end of the racetrack out after that last pair of cars went down. Making sure everything out there on the 1320 and the shutdown area remains clean, safe, and secure. Alrighty. Get the okie dokie from that end of the racetrack. That means fire them up on this end of the racetrack. Butcher's Machine, the 69 Camaro bodied car on the right-hand side. There's Glenn. There's Dave. Glenn's in number 4. Dave's not. He's number 34. When you take the quick 32 and you're number 34, that means you got to try a little bit harder. See if you can get in. And for Dave, that number 34 spot actually just needs to pick up a couple of hundredths of a second. That's 7:04 down on the other end that you see on the scoreboards. That's Don's number, Sadoff's ride. Dave's already been 7:07. So if he can pick up like 300ths of a second, which is about that much, he said, holding his fingers not too far apart. He's in the show. Looking to get in. Super Gas round number 2. You should be in the lanes. Stock Eliminator round number 2. You should be there as well. That means Super Comp. Get them ready. Two more pair, and we will put qualifying to rest at the Buckeye Fuel Wars. Hope everybody had a chance to swing by the souvenir trailer and pick up your event souvenir t-shirt today. Pretty good looking shirt. Hope you got yours. All right, everybody's watching that left-hand scoreboard. Dave trying to get in, trying to get in, trying to get in, goes 690. He's in. 644. Butcher picks up the pace a little bit. Butcher goes from number 4 to number 3. Dave Payon goes into the field, number 29. And that means we have one car not in the 6-second zone. And that's Tim Irwin. 7:01. He was close. Everybody else, 6.985 or quicker. That's a pretty healthy field. Mark McDonald, your double-up winner at Joliet a few weeks back. The dragstersforsale.com. Team car, the 67 Mustang there on the left lane. He's your number 9 qualifier, Tim Mulder. Runner at the wheel, the Pontiac over here on the right-hand side, number 20 on the qualifying sheet. Final pair. Well, our field is set. Now it's just a matter of who's going to run whom. McDonald, number 9. Moeller, number 20. Tim wants to get up into the top half of the field. He needs to pick up 600ths of a second. Run a 6:75.3 or better to put himself in the top half of the field and have lane choice for round number 1. But as I've said before, and as I'll say again, in Top Dragster and Top Sportsman, it's not about where you qualify, it's about if you qualify. Because if you're in, you can win in this category, or these categories. McDonald, 667, the best out of the Mustang. Mulder goes 677, 203 miles an hour, 663 by Mark. Mulder jumps up to the number 18 spot, misses the top half of the field by 200ths of a second. And boys and girls, guys and gals, that puts Top Sportsman qualifying to bed. Round number 1 will be out tomorrow. This is round number 2 of our 9